OneFootball is the app that you need to cover everything related to your favourite football team and general football news. Use the OneFootball app so you're up to date with every team's transfer news, team stats, fixture lists, competitions and much more. Personalise your feed. Get alerts to the news and stories you want. Download the OneFootball app today. Your football fix is only a swipe away.
Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC and this is Bottleneck TV, and today I'm bringing back another news daily video. And in today's news daily video, I'm going to be talking about Musonda. And yeah, we all saw, or most of us saw, the caption he posted on Instagram yesterday. And for all you guys that don't know, I'm going to read it out to you right now. In his Instagram post, he does state, "You sacrifice, you work hard, harder, you give more than what's expected, and offer more than you can, because you love what you do, and clearly more than you should. And what do you get back? Literally nothing. Done. However, with this being said, I will continue with the same dedication and commitment to this great game." Now, further on in Musonda's post, his brother Musonda has something to say, and it is quite telling of how a lot of the youth players see Chelsea at this moment in time. It's starting to look like they wouldn't know what they have if they had Ronaldo or Messi coming up from the academy. Shake my head. And I fully agree with that statement by Musonda. What really does a youth player at Chelsea really need to have in his locker room to command first team opportunities? Not first team guaranteed spots, but an opportunity to show that you are good enough to play with these guys, and with the right amount of game time, you can be an incremental figure for the first 11. And I'm looking at Musonda. As us fans, we see what he does. We see his dedication to training. We've seen him work on his free kicks, his shooting technique, and especially the gym. Now, one criticism, in quotations, criticism that Musonda gets is that he isn't big enough and he isn't strong enough to compete in the Premier League. The most ridiculous old statement that a lot of football people like to state. Like, what do you really need? I mean, I look at someone like a Riyad Mahrez. Musonda already is bigger and bulkier compared to Mahrez. Mahrez has been getting on just fine in this league. It's almost as if, what, does first touch technique and dribbling ability, does it not matter? Do you need to have the strength? No, the English style wingers do, because all these guys do, head down, run forward, play out wide. Musonda cuts inside, links up the play. He's a modern day attacker. And you're even seeing this guy working on his fitness regime, working to increase his strength and bulking up, and he has got bigger. You've seen that dedication. Now, what more can he do to command a spot? Conte gives him a chance to play against Nottingham Forest, a very low pressure game, playing against a weak Nottingham Forest team at home. Had a fantastic debut, played, got a goal in his debut. Looks like he started in straight away. Then after that, not even to get squad places on the bench afterwards. Now, a lot of fans might be thinking, well, is it really right what Musonda's doing? Posting this out, it's not professional, it's not right. If I was Conte, I wouldn't give him a chance after this. He's really let the manager down. Why? Conte hasn't even committed to the club at this moment in time. Yeah, he signed a new contract. It wasn't for an extension, but to earn more money. Now, I was saying throughout my live streams during last season, which a lot of you would have heard, I don't realistically see Conte staying at Chelsea for years to come, because he's an Italian at heart. He wants to go back to where he's from. His family are there as well. If anything, this was like an adventure for him, because as a manager, a top class manager, you do want to test yourself in other leagues to see how you compete. Conte's managed a national team and he's managed abroad for Chelsea. He will be going back realistically, and it's like, why are we going to put too much power? Why are we going to give so much power to a guy that hasn't committed to the club, that could affect the long-term potential of Chelsea? Because Musonda has the potential to be one of the world-class players of his generation. And it seems like Chelsea and their mentality around youth are really bottlenecking his progress and what he can do. And it's getting too much for me, it's getting too far. Musonda only has a year and a half left on his contract. Now, if I was him personally, I'd be looking to leave, because at Chelsea, you're not gonna get the game time or the opportunities to show what you can do, because even if you do put the work in, you ain't getting a chance. Now, a lot of you guys might be saying, oh, but look at Christensen. He's been playing just fine and he had a good loan spell. If these young players are serious about playing for Chelsea, this is the model you have to follow. Well, two things. No surprise to me that, like a Korsbar, for example, and Christensen did so well on loan, is because they play for the best teams available. Courtois going to Atletico Madrid, you know, an Atletico Madrid team on the rise. Now, imagine hypothetically if we sent Courtois on loan to a team like Malaga, for example. Let's say he had the same identical performances he was putting in for Atletico Madrid, but only he's playing for Malaga. Now, realistically, would he really be able to get a chance at Chelsea afterwards? No, because the bottleneck for Courtois would have been that he played for Malaga and he didn't show what he could do in the big leagues and the big teams. Same thing for Christensen as well. The guy played for one of the up-and-coming German teams in the league in Borussia Mönchengladbach, bringing in fantastic youth players from the academy and from German teams as well, playing in a system that complements him and suits him. Now, if anything, I know if you've got 40 plus players in your loan army, it's going to be hard to give that same attention to every single one of the players, but you think for your elite top class players, the likes of your Ruben Loftus-Cheeks, Bogers, you know, Slanky at the time, etc., that you put in more effort to make sure that the best club is suited to their style of play and surroundings, to really get the best out of them, to really show what they're about. But we can't even get that right. Now, Musonda, to me, this guy, what does he lack that can't command in game time? He's got the first touch, the dribbling technique, he's got bigger, he's got speed, he can cut inside, he can link up the play, his shooting's got better, he can play a pass, he's good in the final third, he doesn't break moves down, he always knows what to do. What is he lacking that can't give him game time? And I'm sorry you guys, there's a clear bias towards experienced older players over youth players. Now, but I'm looking at the likes of Pedro, Willian. So many of us fans are frustrated with these two. Pedro, for me, is a guy in 3 games will play 1 good game, not even 10 out of 10, 1 good game, then he'll play an average game, then a poor game. He's done that since he's signed for us. Willian especially being one of the poorest starts to a season that we've seen from Willian in his career so far, and it's not good enough, but these guys are still getting the game time, the manager's still looking at them. Now, if it really was fair, where it's all about training hard and working hard, then a Musonda would be getting looked at and would be getting opportunities to show what he's about. But realistically, he's only going to get a chance if injuries come to Pedro and Willian. And if anything, Conte will probably change the system, so Musonda will get even less game time available to him. Now, people might say to me, but Christensen's got a chance. He's only got a chance because of suspensions to Cahill and Luis. Now, think about it. We're always saying you need, we're always saying you need luck to have a chance of breaking into a first team for a big team. And Christensen's getting that luck. Imagine Cahill getting a red card, 3-game suspension, and Luis getting one soon after. You know, 6 games he's had to show what he's about. And it's no surprise because this guy's an elite player that the manager's now trusted in him. And that's what it's all about. Give the guy a chance to show what he can do, then he can gain that trust. But if you're not, you know, if we're beating teams 3-0, like, you know, for, say Stoke, for example, the game's already won by the 60th minute, and then it's a risk to bring on Musonda for the last 30, 20 minutes. I'm sorry, that's not good enough. Is the loan army even, you know, is the loan system really the best way to really get the best out of our top young players? No, I think Bamford is a testament to the loan army just being completely wrong, because, just to keep it very brief, Bamford, how can a guy that wins Player of the Year in the Championship, and not an easy feat, at such a young age as well, what, 19, 20 years old, flopped in the Premier League so much? That's because he went to 2 stupid teams that don't fit his style of play. Crystal Palace, they're a team that like to use target men, big guys who hold up defenders, win balls in the air. Look at Benteke, that won challenge to compete for the most aerial balls last season, 535. That's a stupid amount. What is someone like Bamford supposed to be doing in a team where you only have long balls thrown at you and you have to hold up the play? No, he plays off people, he plays off the last line defence, and he links up play. Same thing with Burnley, a team that just defend. What's he supposed to do playing up front in a system like that? Nothing. And that's the bottleneck that's created. And we're seeing that with some of the young players already. Lewis Baker, imagine, single-handedly wins Vitesse their first trophy in their history. He's gone to Middlesbrough. That's not good enough. And that's showing you there's something wrong with the loan system. And this is what I'm saying. If I'm Musonda, honestly, I'd leave. I'd leave because you need to take control of your future, your destiny. You know, at Chelsea, the politics behind the scene, you know, with managers that don't really give opportunities to young players, no matter what, you're not going to get a fair opportunity. We have to accept that as fans. young players aren't going to get a fair opportunity. Look at someone like a Conte. His footballing style and philosophy doesn't benefit any of the young players at Chelsea, because for example, look at our midfield, look at a Conte midfield. They need to be strong, be adept at winning the ball back, being able to really drop deep, protect the back three as well. When you look at the Chelsea's youth midfield, it's all about play. You know, they start the attack, start the moves, dominating possession, starting attacks. Two completely different things. So Conte couldn't even look at the youth academy to bring players in because they don't suit the style of football that he wants. So even if we did have a Messi-esque player, where you know, or Ronaldo-esque player, where would they really play? What game time opportunity would they get to show what they can do? And I honestly feel Musonda has that ability to be maybe a potential new Ronaldo. They are very similar. When you look at early Ronaldo when he was 18 compared to Musonda, in terms of the dribbling style, it's very, very reminiscent. If anything, Ronaldo's had the ability to show what he's about because of all the opportunities that Ferguson gave him. Even when Musonda has players in front of him that aren't even on a different level to him, just because they're older, he's still not getting a chance. I'm sorry. After that fantastic game against Nottingham Forest, to not even make the squad, not even be on the bench of previous games, or the guy wasn't good enough to get 20-minute runouts. Are you serious? No. And I think Musonda's getting to that point now, but I think it's only 21. Chelsea are showing me that, yeah, they want me to sign these contracts, but what are they really showing? To show me that they really care about me and they really care that I can be part of the first team, because the opportunities just aren't coming. My God, you guys, it really does frustrate me how we use our youth. And I think, you know, morally, especially with the loan system, morally I don't even think it's right. For example, for you to even get a loan opportunity, you have to sign a contract. If you don't sign a contract, it becomes a Dominic Solanke where, you know, your progression is effectively stopped for a whole year. Now Solanke is lucky because he's had such natural talent. Liverpool signed him up because he's seen as one of the best young strikers in the country, but it doesn't work like that for every player. Now realistically, if Musonda was to leave or let his contract run out, I mean, maybe he'd have to, or maybe he'd be forced to have to sign a new contract, because here's the thing, Musonda at his age, he can't afford to wait next season and then you know, wait for his contract to die really in a year and a half, because football is a fast-paced game. It changes. There could be another young guy that gets an opportunity for the national team or any other club that limits his chances of playing for the right club that he needs. And it's not going to change until, you know, the club have a unified philosophy. We bring in the right manager that unites the youth teams and the first teams. Because again, we'll just ruin another generation with the likes of the Hudson-Odois and Dyson Radans and Amptus and players like that. And you guys, it is very frustrating. It is. I know a lot of us fans were scared yesterday seeing that post, but nearly 99% of us agrees with Musonda's stance, because it's getting to that point now where it's ridiculous. The likes of Pedro's, Williams, you know, your Mitchies, I'd even say back at this moment in time, because he has been poor in my opinion. They're consistently allowed to get the game time regardless of their form, and it's kind of like, if the likes of a Musonda or Schlober at the time, Ruben Loftus-Cheek or Baker, any of these players put in the same type of performances if they were given the opportunities that the likes of these experienced players are given, you wouldn't see them in the first team for a very long time. And I think if anything, that really just sums up the bias there is at Chelsea towards youth. And, you know, it's not even morally right, because we even may get half of these young guys to leave to better their career. If you have no chance in hell of making it at Chelsea, it's easy to go. How longer is this going to continue? Now you guys, I'm going to do a more in-depth video on the loan system, the loan army. I'm going to give some of my thoughts and opinions on what I think we should be trying to implement and what I think we should do to really make Chelsea become a more unified club, where we have the best chance to really become a much better team. But if anything, you guys, I'm going to end today's News Daily video. Yeah, it was a pretty long one. I know I'll probably get a lot of negative feedback in the comment section, but I'm always going to be true to my words and true to my opinions. That's never going to change. And if anything, you know, I hope maybe some people take something away from today's News Daily video. Anyway, you guys, that's going to end today's News Daily video. Please like, comment and subscribe if you haven't. I'm the EFC. This is Blue Lines TV.